Hello my dear friends, good morning to all of you. In this video lecture session, this is the last video lecture session regarding the CPD subject. There are the unit number 6. This is the last unit regarding your CPD subject. So let's see. The name of the chapter number 6, or we can say that unit number 6 is the expanding contribution in every role, right? Because take the example, whenever you studying at that time your role is a student role. Whenever you are doing the job as an engineer, right, at that time your role is the engineer role. Okay, some persons are doing the entrepreneur job, right, so they have to doing the entrepreneur role. So different role are considering in our life we have, right. So at that time different role have to consider by us. So at that time we have to we can say elaborate on, we have to expand this contribution role. We cannot not we can say that doing this job as the part of our duty. We have to try to develop this role very as a contributor, right. So let's see. First of all, victims and the destiny. So, journey to contributorship is the first stage is a victim to creator of your own destiny. Every person has doing, or we can say develop that destiny, right. In the second stage is the acceptance of the ideal contributor, and the next is the willingness to take a full responsibility for your individual and the organizational development. And finally you can appropriate modification, that is the PDCA. Okay, first of all let me tell you that about this, that first stage as we can say as an engineer, whenever you work at that time you have to create your own destiny. You have to develop your destiny according to your, we can say, skills and knowledge. In the second stage you have to accept your ideal, and then after you have to develop your views and visions according to your ideals personality, ideals knowledge, ideals qualities. Okay, so if you develop your qualities and then individually, and if you working in the organization, then your organizational development. So after in the modification process you have to select the PDCA. Okay, so here I consider this full form. This PDCA means what? First one, P means P for planning. Okay, whenever you have to try to modificate new things, right, so at that time first of all you have to plan about this qualities and we can say feature. And then after in the second stage you have to do, after planning you have to do these things, and then after you can check out these things, and then after act about according to your, we can say, planning. So let me tell you one example so you can easily understand this PDCA means what. Take the example, if you have to plan this establish a new, we can say, and we can say entrepreneur, right, or we can say new industry. At that time you have to planning about your company, about your organization, that in the which place I have to start my this new startup, and how many workers are considering for these activities, and how can I get the my raw materials, right. Then after planning you have to doing this type of things, and you have to check out that if I do this type of new enterprise, and we can say new organization, new startup, then it is important, or we can say it is beneficial for me or not. And then after if it is beneficial for you, then you have to select and you have to act according to your planning. So you have to create your own destiny, and you are the victim of your destiny. So you have to plan out your all over vision, and then after you have to do according to your vision, and then after check out that is it possible or not. And if it is possible, and so you have to act according to your, we can say, planning, right. I hope you understand it. Then next one is contributor and non-contributor character. So let's see. So first one, there are the contributor and non-contributor characters differences considered here. First one, individual have a power than the environment and the circumstances. Some people have the power that they cannot have any influence regarding the environment, regarding their personal life, regarding their personal problems. They only believe in the power of their individual confidence, right, in as a contributor. And if the person is non-contributor, then always blame to the situations, circumstances, and more required than the individual. They always blame that I cannot do this type of thing because I cannot have this type of appropriate environments. So they always blame to the, we can say, situations and circumstances and environments, right. Then, as a contributor, change, adaptability, adverse situations are the part of the parcel of their lives. They always face the changes, adaptability, and any problems because they are the contributor. They always face these problems and try to solve these problems. And non-contributor always resist the changes. They cannot do any changes. They always rigid in their mind and doing the, we can say, rigidity always in their life, right. Then after, as contributor, they have to solve the problems, and non-contributor can don't adapt the changes. They cannot accept any changes. They always doing the, we can say, whatever the tradition are considered, they always follow the tradition. They cannot do any new things. Okay. Then after, non depend on other. Contributor always doing the self depend. They cannot depend on the other person. They always believe in their self. Okay. Then non contributor don't adapt the changes and always, we can say, depend on the others. Then contributor, there are the self exploring, and non contributors always need to support. Contributor can self exploring, they can do very hard work, smart works, and develop their own destinies. And non contributors always take the supports from other and always depends on other. Okay. Then after, there are the example are considered here as a contributor and non-contributor personalities. So here there are the one, we can say, that worker are considered here. He think that only if the area is kept clean, the people will be able to lead a disease-free life. Then, as a non-contributor person, they always believe that my duty's time is over, so I am over for the day and lets the other sweepers is work about the remaining kachra, right. So here there are the considering one example regarding the sweeper, that one sweeper is think that if my time is completed, but if I do this thing, so it's we can say helpful to the society. And some sweepers are things that why should I do this type of work because my time is over. So this type of personalities are also considering in the, we can say, our work life, also in our work life, in our day to day life. So you have always do your work as a contributor, not work as a non contributor. Okay. Then after, man is a thinking animal, right. Because another animal cannot have a ability to think, so God give us a gift to think a different view, different, we can say, prospect and aspect that cannot, we can say, think by the another animals. So man is a thinking animal, and whatever you think you become. So you have to think a new innovative things and try to, we can say, accept a new things, and you can develop your own destiny. Then man's thinking abilities differentiate him from the other lives, being a makes him a superior to all. If you have to think a new way, then you are the superior of your field, in your field, right. Then after, thinking should be enlightened and not limited. If you have to think out of box, means creative thinking, then you cannot, we can say, achieve your all, we can say, views and visions, goals. Okay. Then after, think is a way think is a way that is good for the self as well as the other thing is the self interests. So you have to think good for self and other also, because if you think a selfishness way, then you cannot stay in the, we can say, long time in your field. Okay, you have to think not selfish way, you have to think with the others way. Okay. Then after, A contributor thinking is always broad, wide, and they look a focus on the big picture. Okay, as a contributor, they always have the broad vision. Take the example of Ratan Tata, then after Mukesh Ambani. So they always have the wide vision. They have to focus the big picture. They cannot focus on the, we can say, little things, and they have to always try to broad pictures, and they have to develop it, right? Then after contributor when work in a team, think about the whole team's success and not just self. Sometimes as a manager, they have to given the task to their subordinate, and if the success is we can say achieve, then they take the all credits by himself, that these all things are done by me only, not done by subordinates. So you cannot develop this type of, we can say, mentality. Always try to develop the mentality that we can say cooperative level and cooperational level. Then after, contributor always think in enlightened way that cannot think by the non-contributors. Then they think about the all concern, and whether it is a team, organization or society or world at the large, they always think about the all concern. They always think about the team concern, organization's concern, society's concern. So it's a world large level. They have always tried to develop the good vision, right? Then after, here there are the one difference is consider regarding the contributor and non-contributor personality regarding this vision way. So contributor have the wider vision, then non-contributor have the narrow vision. Then contributor personality have the irrespective to their position and respect the all teammates. They always respect to each other. They always give the respect to their team members, their subordinates, and then they stay in their field. If you cannot give the respect to your team members, then you cannot stay in your field. Okay. Then limited people are focused. In the non-contributor level, they always give the respect, but they have to give the respect for the limited person. They cannot give the respect to the all persons. Okay. Then always positive approach. Contributor have the always positive approach, and the non-contributor have always negative approach. Then contributor have the all concern, and the non-contributor have the only concern about their self-interest. Always we can say take the example that they have to work for their own self. They cannot work for their all about the, we can say, society, then after subordinates, employees. They always for the self-stated persons, right? Then assigning role in the group work. So let's see. First one, if you are working in the organization or as in a team, at that time you have to assign the role to the different person. At that time, what type of points you have to consider? First one, stay alert and attuned to your environment. You have to always alert to your environment, always attune with your we can say employees and subordinates, and then after you have to give the group work. Then second one is take over the project outside for your mind area. If you have to working in the group, at that time you have to doing a new innovative things and new ideas that cannot we can say think by the other person. Take the example of the mission Mangal. Okay, in the mission Mangal they have to doing the new project that cannot have the ideas regarding the other country. Okay, so you have to develop this type of group work. Then after, make a strategy for your day job. If you have to lead, if you are working as a leader, then you have to take the chart, and then after all your responsibility and whatever the delegation and authority you have to delegate to your subordinates and employees, you have to make a strategy of your day, and you have to work according to your planning. Then after, expand your contribution from the outside in, means you have to develop your contribution and you have to develop the new things that cannot develop by the others. Then after, fifth one is a learn to delegate. Okay, some person have this type of ability. If they have given or assigned the roles to the other person, they can sometimes some people have the, we can say that rude behavior. So we can say rude behavior regarding to their employees at the time. If they delegate the authorities and assign the works, so they have to behave rudely. So you cannot behave rudely. You have to behave very soft language and try to concern language, I say you that. So you can easily delegate the authority and your work can easily done. Then after, here there are the one example, I hope you all know about this, that if teamwork is very important. If the team if your team cannot doing the good work, then you cannot achieve the success. In the team, all members are important, right? So here you can from the image you can see, I consider the one example from our, we can say that the winner trophy regarding the in the 2020 IPL 2020. So here that Sachin said that Sachin believed in the enabling the helping in the teammates is grow. So in his success, he saw the success of the team India, not the success of himself only, right? So and this is a reason why this victory is great, because the different players have the made a contribution to the win, right? So this comment is considered by Sachin Tendulkar, because in the team there are all persons are important. If the person cannot we can say give their contribution, then your team cannot get the success, right? These are considered the example of the cricket field. You can also take the example of the geo. I gave you example that whenever geo launch, at that time before the geo launch, they have to doing the group activities and team works from the other they have to go to other nations, and then after they can take the researches and some types of, we can say researches laboratories, and then after they have to develop the new things is called the geo, right? So teamwork is very important in the, we can say in your student life, in your, we can say family day to day life. So all persons are important in the team work, not one person is important, right? Then after, skill set means what? A skill is a collection of the skills abilities. Skill set means what? There are the collection of your skills ability. Then each person has a different skills and set is depending on their interests, natural abilities, personal qualities and the technical skill. Different person has a different types of skills, and there are the, we can say collection of the skills is called the skill set. So, skill can be expand your profession, we can say competency, and allow to you to perform the job well. So it's very important to you that you have the different type of skills. So here there are the mainly two types of skills. First one is the soft skills. Soft skills are considered the adaptability, motivation, creativity, teamwork, leadership, and time management. Then hard skills are considered the accountability, copywriting, data analysis, event planning. So there are the main two types of skills, soft skill and hard skill. So you have to develop your skill set according to your work, according to your job. Then after, role for the students throughout the education. So let's see. First one, facilitator. As a student, whenever you working, whenever you doing your, we can say studies, at that time as a facilitator you have to develop the role regarding the, you have to give the information regarding your study to the your we can say your students, regarding your we can say adults, right? So you have to work as a facilitator. Then after, researcher. You cannot study the, we can say inbuilt things, you have to research new things and new ideas. So as a researcher you have to develop your role. Then after, planner. You have to plan your own activity, your own career, your own destiny. Then after, organizer. So some student have to develop the new ideas and they have to organize this new thing. Sometimes you have also doing this type of activities in your college activities. Sometimes some programs are we can say we have to organize. At that time some students have to take the sponsorship from the other we can say that companies and businesses, right? So you have to organize your own activities. Then after advocates means what? Advocates means students are the one type of, we can say that doing the work in their field, they have to we can say advocate of their problems, and they have to present their problems to the professors and principals, sirs, right? Then after expert, you have to develop the we can say expertship, okay, in your own field. If you are expert in your field, then you can achieve the success that cannot achieve by the others. Then after advisor, you have, if you have the knowledge regarding this field, then you can easily give the advice to your classmate, to your adults, your family members, right? Then after designer, you have to also develop the some in the, I also see in your tech manjari, there are the tech manjari program that some students have to design the new projects and some companies have to approach their projects, right? Then after teacher, um, there are the some students have to develop the role as a teacher. They can teach the new things to their we can say classmates, right? New innovative things and their ideas regarding to their parents and families, right? Then after makers, you have to make of your own destiny. Then after lobbyists means what? Means as a student, this is very important role, according to the my point of view, because if you develop this lobbyist we can say role, that what is the meaning of it? Because you have to oppose, or you have to, we can say that some type of political rules that cannot appropriate to our society. So as a youth, as an youth engineer, as a youth, we can say our India, you have to oppose these things. So this always, we can say this done by always students. If you do this type of opposition which cannot, we can say, appropriate our society, so you can develop this new role in your, we can say, student life. Then after trainer, you can train, if you have the knowledge, then you can train the new things to your colleagues, your, we can say, classmates and your family members. Then after politicians, some students are also doing this type of activities during their student life. They can sometimes some college have the unions and student union, and they have to develop this political skills. Then after students as a recruiter means what? First one, they have to develop the entrepreneurs. If the students are working very good and they have the new skills and knowledge, so they can start their new startup and doing this entrepreneurships. Then after paid staff, they have to provide the salaries and the wages to their staffs. Then after student as a mentor, sometimes some students have a new innovative skills and new ideas, so they can give the ideas and they can solve their we can say adults problem, okay. Sometimes I also give the example regarding this topic that some in the some, we can say that companies visit, there are the one problem is facing by the company, that if they packing their products, some products are we can say products are packet of the products are empty. So there are the IIT students are, we can say, visited to this company, and then after they company's owner can we can say discuss this problem to this IIT students, and then after they can give that view that if you have to establish here, we can say, fan here, and if you start the fan, so if the empty products are or we can say empty packets are considered, so they can fly away, and you can easily solve this problem. So students are working as a mentor sometimes, so this is a big problem is facing by this company, and student can easily solve this problem. So I hope that some student from you, they also have this type of mentor skills. Then after a decision maker, you are the decision maker. As a recruiter, you have to decision maker, so you have to take the decision whenever you take the we can say as entrepreneurship, your startup, at that time you have to take the decision, right? Then after leader, as a leader you have to lead your team, lead your organization. So as a leader you have to take the your own decisions. Then after policy maker, you have to make new policies and new rules that cannot conduct by the other peoples. Then after activist, as a student you always active in your field, so you can easily take the new innovative ideas and new startups, right? So then after here consider the teamwork's important examples, and you can keep in mind whenever you doing the teamwork. So here first one, whenever you doing the teamwork at the time, what type of teamwork skills you have to require. First one is a communication. Whenever you're doing the teamwork, at the time you have to communicate with your participant in your team, because you cannot communicate to your participant, you cannot take the new ideas and new suggestions from your teammates, right? Then after, if any problems or if any queries are created, so you have to conflict management, you have to manage this problem, you have to solve the conflicts between your we can say teammates, okay? Then after, listening is very important. If you cannot listen the others view, then you cannot achieve the successes. You have to listen the others points, others opinions, and then after you have to take the decision whenever you working in the teamwork, right? Then reliability means what, you have to rely, you have to, we can say, take the example that you have to take the faith on your on your teammate. If you cannot faith on your teammate, then sometimes some teammates have the feel that our leader cannot we can say that faith in our skills. So you cannot develop this type of environment, you have to develop the faith in the teammates, and then after you can achieve the success. Then after, respectfulness, if you give the respect, then you achieve the respect, right? It's a, we can say, is a one type of we can say that તમે એવું કહી શકો કે તમે જો રિસ્પેક્ટ આપો છો તો રિસ્પેક્ટ તમને મળે છે, બરાબર છે? તો એવું કહી શકીએ that the team is very important for the respect. If you give the respect, then you achieve the respects, right? So respectfulness in your teammates. If you give the respect, then you take the respect and you can get your, we can say, object and goal and mission, right? So here our unit 6 is completed. So thank you so much. If you have any query regarding the unit number 6, then you can contact me anytime. Okay, so here your CPD subject is completed. Thank you so much for your support. And if you find any query, then feel free to contact me. Thank you.